Guy tips big to impress date, but returns afterwards to take money back.
Shut the f up! Oh, shut the f up!
Oh, that's kind of awesome.
Oh.
This is literally, okay, that's George Costanza. That is just George Costanza right there. This needs to start with boom, 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 boom. Okay, here we go. We had a guy come in last night with his date. Throughout the evening, he was the picture of courtesy and good manners. He complimented me, thanked me every time I came to refresh waters or check on the table, made a point to be forgiving of a kitchen mistake, super extra nice. The dream customer, really. I appreciated it, but didn't delude myself that I was the source and figured he was just in a good mood because the date was going well. They were chatting, laughing, having a great time, so I assumed I was an indirect beneficiary. He was certainly in some kind of celebratory mood because he was sparing no expense. He asked for our highest quality wine. She got our most expensive entree. He ordered one of every appetizer for her to sample after she made a remark that she was having trouble deciding. It was a real feast. So the evening starts wrapping up and I get their check. I ask if they'll be together or separate. She starts to say separate, but he makes a big deal of saying, "Oh, are you kidding? Together, definitely together. You never have to pay when you're with me, babe." And so on and so forth. Then slides me a credit card. I get everything sorted and bring out the receipt. He fills it out and it came to $289 total. He doesn't even blink and makes a big show of leaving a $100 tip. He thanks me for my service and emphasizes that what a lovely night they've had. Of course, a tip that size is exceptional, so I thanked him profusely. He said there was no need to thank him and goes on a big tear about how underappreciated waitstaff are and to just think of it as a stand-in for all the ingrates who didn't treat me right. Saying, don't plan to tip, don't plan to eat out, you know? While looking at the mesmerized girl the whole time and not giving me a glance. I could care less where he was looking. I was looking at the upcoming $100. I thanked him again and said I hope to see them back soon, and that was that. So he helps her into her coat and off they go. Great night. I was riding high. About 90 seconds later, he's back in the door without her, going, I think I left my... When the door shut, he looked around to make sure she was out of earshot. He then says, without the slightest shade of shame or embarrassment, mark the tip down to $20, hun. I was just playing it up for my date. You understand. And turns to go. I understood, but not how he hoped I would. But I couldn't make a scene in the middle of work. That's not my place. So I wanted to bring it up one more time to try to give his conscience a chance to sink in. And said, okay, sir, you'd like to amend your tip from $100 to $20, is that correct? And even though I didn't show a hint of displeasure in my voice, he shot back, extremely hostile. Yes, and if I see a cent over the 20 on there, I'm going to dispute the whole meal with my credit vendor. So don't try to pull anything. The most frustrating part of this for me was not going from an over 30% tip to under 10%.
Yeah.
It was that this poor girl was being strung along with no idea of who the guy was behind her back. It was extremely manipulative of him, which is a major red flag. Also, the way he's talking is like fucking old school, like, you understand, babe.
Hun?
I'm just doing this.
What's with all these characters we're meeting in this episode that are like, whatever, babe.
Why are they all greasers?
Yeah.
In my head, it's like, you understand.
Put the cat under the cargo.
I gotta poop.
It's what comedians do.
I got a tiny and I gotta poop.
That's my favorite clip ever.
I've had my fair share of toxic relationships in the past and really wish someone had pulled the blinders off my eyes. I so desperately wanted to do something to alert this girl to the trick the guy had pulled, and maybe it would be a catalyst to her questioning his other actions. But again, I was at work and that just wasn't my place, so I altered the bill and that was that. Then, just in time, something occurred to me, and I darted outside hoping to catch them in the parking lot. I got lucky. They're parked on the street instead, and he was still dealing with the parking meter. So I flagged him down and rushed across the street, nearly stumbling into traffic in my haste for a delicious moment. His date was already in the car, but rolled down her window, since no one expects the waitress to follow you out to your car waving her arms like a crazy person. I made it across and said more than loudly enough for her to hear, Sir, we amended your tip from $100 down to $20 as you requested, but you'll actually need to fill out a different receipt reflecting your new total for our records.
Yes!
Your old receipt still has your original tip of $100 written on it, but since you just came in and asked us to charge you $20 instead, we can't have a discrepancy in our records.
That sounds true.
I hope you understand this is just a bookkeeping regulation that goes way above me. It has nothing to do with you retroactively downgrading your tip from $100 to $20. We're just glad you enjoyed your evening. His jaw was on the floor. He tried to pretend as though he didn't know what I was talking about and gave me some line like, I think you're after someone else. I'd only come back because I'd forgotten my keys. But I would not let it rest. The more he played dumb, the more I repeated versions of, you wanted to change your tip from $100 down to $20. You came back in, and on and on. So we went back and forth for a few more seconds until finally he went, okay, whatever. Sorry for the miscommunication. If you need me to fill out a new receipt, I can. And I, totally even-keeled, was like, you only need to fill out a new receipt if you want to change your tip from $100 down to $20. And I'm guessing he didn't have the money in his account because he did it. He filled out the new receipt. His girlfriend was visibly shocked, and the man was staring daggers through me. You could feel the rage emanating off him. It was quite satisfying to accomplish this, in place of the other toxic men I was never able to confront, and all the bad tippers. Ironically, the exact kind he made a righteous speech decrying just a few minutes beforehand. And then off they drove, I'm sure never to patronize our restaurant again, and hopefully to never go out together again, which would make it totally worth it. Dude, this is an I Think You Should Leave sketch.
This
is literally the nacho scene from I Think You Should Leave. It's like, we have a policy where you can't have the nachos with all this stuff on them. It's like, did you go and tell him that? What? I had them check because the fans were on us. There's no fans above us. What? What an insane guy. That guy is cartoonish.
I'm willing to vote for OP for president.
Yep.
Yeah, OP, absolute legend.
Incredibly classy the way she did it too.
OP is such a legend. And this guy is one of the worst assholes ever because the problem is he acknowledges what is right and what is wrong. He announces that he understands the severity of the situation.
And does it a lot.
But then goes and like switches it down. So I'm like, you literally acknowledge that people who don't tip are absolute monsters. And then you come in and just do it. Like, you are fully embracing that you're an awful person.
And he's like, and if you don't do this, I'm gonna go to my credit
I'm
card.
gonna give you
hell. He does this a lot.
Like,
you can tell he's done it before, and whether it's multiple times with this person that he's on a date with, or he's just doing this. I'm like, are you gonna kill this woman?
Yeah. No, he's giving American Psycho.
Yeah. He literally is. Also, so the bill was like $280.
$289.
Tipped $100.
$200, but $20.
$20 is less than 10%.
That's less than 10%.
No, it's bad.
It's like 7 or 8%.
Bury him. Oh my God.
Bury him in receipts.
Put him on the cargo hold of a ship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Comments. Get him. I think you did her a favor exposing his deficiencies. OP responded, thank you. I'm glad it comes off that way. If it had just been him alone leaving a big tip and like changing his mind or something, or even if he'd done that with a group of platonic friends, I'd have been pissed, but I would have just changed it and let it go. I only followed up because I wanted an opportunity to clue the girl in, and the receipt was the only legitimate way. Well, he also like laid it out that he's lying to her. He's like, you understand, I'm lying to this woman to trick her. Someone said, dude, I have a serious lady justice boner right now. Oh my God. Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear aprons.
I can't believe she thought of that because that's like so well thought out, the paperwork and the receipt of it all.
And
I would
And just kept repeating the $100 down to $20.
Yeah, I would try to find her on Instagram and be like, hey, I'm the waitress. That guy. I would have not done it that efficiently because the best way was to do it in front of him too.
No, that was slay.
Picture it's like the night streets of New York. The streets are wet from the rain earlier that day, and she ran out there. And she's like, "Wait!" And she's like, the girlfriend's like, and like sees all this, and he's like in a trench coat, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, no. And she looks amazing. And you know she looked amazing the whole time.